Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Ultimate Show. Sorry, we've been down for about 2 weeks. I've been sick. No, I actually was sick. I'm sorry, guys.
He's not
Um,
lying.
yeah, if you would have heard me, you probably wouldn't have wanted to hear me do this video.
Uh,
So we'll just leave that there. Anyways, so this week is going to be week 13, which means, of course, that we are very close to playoff time.
yeah.
And with that comes playoff implications starting now.
Yes.
And we have some interesting scenarios around the league.
Of
So,
course.
with that being said, let's start out with the Midwest Division.
Of course.
So, James, would you kindly read off the standings for us?
So in the standings, we have Madison in first place. Win 10, losses 0, point differential 113. Pittsburgh 7-3, point differential of 34. Minnesota 7-4 in third place, point differential of negative 26. Gosh. Indy win-loss record of 6-4, sitting in fourth place with a point differential of 44. Detroit sitting in fifth place, win-loss 4-7, point differential negative 53. Chicago sitting in sixth place, 4-8, with a point differential of negative 20, and Cincinnati 0-12 with a point differential of negative 92.
Okay, so what we can determine from this and what James and I have talked about are that Chicago is eliminated from the playoffs in that sixth spot, and Cincinnati's been eliminated for a long time. So, that being said, the top 5 teams have a chance. What I'm looking at is the third and fourth seeds right now. Minnesota is sitting at 7-4, correct? Or
Yes.
6-4?
7-4. India 6-4.
Okay. And Indianapolis is 6-4, correct?
Right.
All right. So Indianapolis is a half a game behind Minnesota for that third spot. But they play Detroit and Pittsburgh this week. So those will be interesting matchups to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, we've seen Indy beat Pittsburgh earlier this season. So
we did. So that'll be a great, interesting game. So now we'll start with the first game, and that is the Madison Radicals versus the Chicago Fire. Now Madison's 10-0, Chicago 4-8. Chicago's had a rough season, and they're just trying to finish the season off strong. But I think I have to go with Madison. James?
Yes, and if my information is correct, Madison will actually clinch the number 1 seed with a win this weekend. If my information is correct. So I'm picking Madison to win this, not just because of the implication that's coming with it, but I mean, Madison's has been a juggernaut this season. And at one point when I could have flipped a coin and maybe picked Chicago, to probably pull up an upset against Madison, I can't really do that this season.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so the next game we move on to is, as we talked about, Indianapolis Alley Cats versus the Detroit Mechanics. Detroit has a very slim chance of making the playoffs. Minnesota has to lose the rest of their games. Indianapolis probably also has to lose the rest of their games, and Detroit needs to win all of them. Now, this is obviously the decider this week because Indianapolis is playing Detroit. So if Detroit beats Indianapolis, I would be very happy being a Wind Chill fan. That would give some extra cushion. But I think I just have to go with Indianapolis based on the way they've been playing.
Right.
James?
I got to pick Indianapolis. I'm so proud of Detroit this season. I'm not like a obsessive Detroit fan, but I do support them. I support just about all their teams, except for the Lions. I despise the Lions with a passion. Sorry, Detroit football fans. But Detroit Mechanics, I do support them in their endeavors. But this has been a great season for them so far, improvement-wise. But I don't think they have enough gas to make it to the playoffs. But so proud of them for pulling out 4 wins this season.
Yep. All right, so moving on to the next game, we have 2 teams with something in common. They both have a 0 in their record, just on opposite ends of the spectrum. Madison, of course, being 10-0 and Cincinnati being 0-12. They both share a 0 in their record, so Cincinnati fans, take pride in that. You have something in common with Madison.
Yes.
All right, so I think that being said, I can pretty much just pick Madison. James?
Let me tell you this. I'm going to pick Madison, but it would just be hilarious if Cincinnati somehow won this game. It would. I don't care whether there's injuries. I don't care what happens. It would just be hilarious if Cincinnati won this game.
Yes.
I don't care what
upset of the season, definitely.
I don't care what excuse anyone has. It would just be.
Yeah. All right, so then we move on to the last game in the Midwest this week, and this is very big for playoff seedings, of course, with Pittsburgh being a half a game up on Minnesota right now for that second spot. But it's Pittsburgh Thunderbirds versus the Indianapolis Alley Cats. So we have the 2 going against the 4, with a 3 stuck in the middle by a half a game. So if Indianapolis wins this, they're actually tied with Pittsburgh, and Minnesota actually moves up to the second spot. I would love that. And Indianapolis
own the series against Pittsburgh.
Yes, they would. So I'm actually going to pick Pittsburgh, though, because Indianapolis got them the first game. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to let them happen this time.
Yeah, especially at the stakes are now.
Yeah, they're just too big to give up now.
Yeah, I have to pick Pittsburgh. I know Indianapolis won, what was it, a 9-point game against them last time? Maybe 8 points. But yeah. I don't know what was going on with Pittsburgh at the time. The commentators had some excuses during one of their other streamed games. And I don't listen to commentators like that. But I think they'll split the series this time.
Yeah.
I don't think Pittsburgh is going to give it up again.
Yeah, so we both pick Pittsburgh, and we both had the same picks for all of those games. Now let's keep on moving on and see who we can get to lose next week. Yeah. All right, so the first game we have the Vancouver Riptide versus the Los Angeles Aviators. But before we do any analysis on that, James, can you give me the standings real quick?
All right, so the West Division has been pretty interesting this year. San Francisco Flamethrowers, 9-3, sitting in first place, a 41-point differential. The reason I'm reading the point differential is because these can come into play when it comes to standings, guys. Like, I'm not just saying it for my health. Seattle Cascades, 8-4, point differential of 18. Vancouver Riptide, 6-5, point differential of -1. LA Aviators, 5-5, point differential of 6. San Jose Spiders, 4-7, point differential of -12. San Diego Growlers, 1-9, point differential of -52.
All right, so there are some very big playoff implications this week. So our first game is the third place Vancouver Riptide versus the fourth place LA Aviators, and Vancouver's up on LA by half a game, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if LA wins this, they move up and take that third spot, and Vancouver goes down. But if Vancouver wins this game, they move up even higher and maybe have a chance of taking Seattle's spot. But I am going to pick the Riptide on this one because they've just been playing great the last couple of weeks. James?
Yes, I am picking the Riptide as well. However, I must say the Riptide have to be very careful because not only if they lose this game do they give LA a chance, but they also give San Jose. They still give San Jose life, with San Jose being at 4-7, and which can finish at a 500 record. Like the 6th seed is still in this. Like this is another division where the 6th seed still has a chance if the 3rd and 4th seeds start slipping up late in the season.
Yeah, and that comes into key because our next game is San Jose Spiders versus San Diego Growlers. San Jose being 4-7, San Diego being 1-9.
Yeah.
San Jose has actually bounced back pretty well, and I'm going to continue on that streak and pick the San Jose Spiders. James?
Oh, yeah. I just realized I said 6th seed. I meant 5th seed. But yes, I'm picking San Jose in this one. San Diego's been underperforming this season. I mean, not unsurprisingly. They've lost a amount of players. Jimmy Mickle, of course, being a big loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm picking San Jose in this one. Of course.
Yeah, definitely not a bad choice there. So now we move on to our next game, which is the number 2 seed versus the number 4 seed, and that is the Seattle Cascades versus the Los Angeles Aviators. Seattle has actually been doing really well, too. Am I correct that they've won 7 in a row, James?
Actually, you are. They started off the wait. They started off the season. Was it 1-3 or 1-4?
I
Either
think it
way.
was 1-3, and then they won 7. They had a really good winning streak, and they've still been playing up to that. So I'm going to take Seattle in this game. James,
Yeah. You said they're playing LA, right?
what was that?
You said they're playing LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm picking Seattle. Seattle in this one, and another case where San Francisco sitting pretty much in a playoff spot. And if I'm not incorrect, I think they've clinched a playoff spot, but they've not clinched number one seed yet. And if they start, I think they have one more game against Seattle, and that could very well determine who gets the first round bye
Mm-hmm.
and the place in the division championship game, home game and division championship game. So I don't expect Seattle to let off the gas now. I expect them to take care of business in LA. Might be a
Mm-hmm.
good game. LA's been pretty solid this season, a lot more solid than last season where they went 4-10.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I expect Seattle to win here.
And actually, I just realized this. If LA beats Vancouver but then loses to Seattle, Vancouver and LA will be exactly tied at 6-6
Wow.
for the third spot.
See, and that's what I'm saying, where you're giving San Jose life because when you come to that point of a 500 record, then it could very well come down to point differential, which San Jose is behind both LA and Vancouver in that. But if San Jose, I don't know whether or not if San Jose can somehow, I don't know the series right now, but if they end up
Yeah.
winning those overall series, and that would push them ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we move on to the last game in the West Division, and that is the San Francisco Flamethrowers, the number 1 seed, versus the San Diego Growlers, the bottom seed. It's kind of like Madison and Cincinnati,
Hey, they
just
both
in a
have a
different
9 in their
division.
record. They both have 9s in their record.
They do. Look at that. We keep finding similarities. San Diego fans, be proud. You share something in common with San Francisco. That's going to be my line. All right, so San Francisco has been playing pretty badly lately. I think this is a good chance for them to rebound, and I think they will very well do that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick San Francisco in this game.
May I say I am picking San Francisco in this, but you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of last season when San Jose was at the number 1 spot. San Jose clinched I think they clinched number 1 seed when they won their 10th game after they had lost 3 games out of 4. And this is where San Francisco is sitting. They've lost 3 games out of 4. And
Yeah.
they're coming in hoping to win their 10th game and clinch the division. It's the exact same scenario as last year, except for San Jose played Seattle.
Yeah. All right, so now we move on to the third division.
Oh yeah,
and that is the Austin. Yeah, what was that?
Sorry. Oh yeah, can I say something, Ben? I just thought of one more thing. Vancouver broke San Jose's winning streak last year. Who broke San Francisco's winning streak this year? Vancouver.
All I know is it wasn't San Jose.
It was Vancouver.
I know.
The similarities in the West is just ridiculous.
The similarities everywhere are ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, I'm sorry for that.
You're all right. So now we move on to the third division, and that is the South Division. So you want to give us a run-up on those standings, James?
Dallas, 12-0, a point differential of 125, the highest in the league, if I'm correct. And
you are correct.
Raleigh Flyers, 7-3, point differential of 22. Atlanta Hustle sitting in third place, 6-6, point differential of 3. Austin Soul, 5-6, with a point differential of 7. Jacksonville Cannons went 5-6 with a point differential of -13. Charlotte Express, 3-9, point differential of -4. And Nashville Night Watch, 1-9, point differential of -80, which it's not the lowest in the league. Thank you, Philadelphia and Cincinnati.
Yeah, very true. Minnesota's close, even though they're 7-4.
Yes.
All right, so we move to the first game, and this could really determine the third. It could determine the third spot in the playoffs, but it also could have effects on the second spot. So we have the Jacksonville Cannons versus the Austin Soul. Jacksonville has been a little off lately. Austin has been still picking it up. If I'm Jacksonville, I'm really looking at this as a win or die game, and I think that's going to give them some fire to move on to. So I'm actually picking the Jacksonville Jaguars. James?
I'm having to disagree with him on this one. I'm going with the Austin Soul. To me, they're the most improved team. We didn't give them much credit when they started off 0-3, but three of their losses at 5-6 were against Dallas.
Yeah.
Against teams that are not Dallas, they've gone 5-3, which is a awesome turnaround.
Yeah.
They beat and they haven't just bullied the bottom two teams in the division. They have gotten wins against Jacksonville, Atlanta, and Raleigh alike. So
Yeah.
they're very capable of being a top team in this division.
Yep. All right, so we have a difference. That's what we want. Somebody's going to be wearing the L next week. Hopefully, one of us, unless we somehow manage to tie.
If we tie, we both have to put a T on our forehead. That's what we're going to do.
All right. Sounds good. All right, so the next game we move on to is, I don't want to say the battle of the bottom feeders, but I'm pretty sure they're both eliminated from the playoffs. Am I correct in that, James?
Let's see here. Yep, both teams are eliminated from playoff contention officially.
So both teams are playing for pride here, which is never a bad thing.
We were playing for pride last year. I'm not too mad.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick Charlotte to win on this.
I hate you. I hate you.
That's harsh. I'm not even going to give my reason now.
I'm just
kidding. It's your turn.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding, man. Give me a reason.
All right, fine. My reason is that Charlotte has 3 wins and Nashville has 1.
I mean, they play more games than us, to be honest.
Yeah.
2 more.
Okay, you're pulling that factor. Well, you have a doubleheader this week, so there you go. Cheers, Jeff.
Yeah, one of them's against Raleigh though, so I'm not too happy about that. But yes, battle of the bottom feeders. Thank you for that, Ben. I'm pulling for Nashville. Unfortunately, in the AUDL pick'em, I chose Charlotte, and I'm choosing them here. I'm a Nashville fan, and I will be rooting for them. I'll be cheering, but I won't be sad if they lose because 1, we're not playing for the playoffs anymore, so I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
2, yeah, I just gotta be realistic now. Sure.
Yeah. All right.
If there's a playoff spot at stake, I would be like, no, Nashville's got this. I don't care.
Yeah. However sad that is, let's just move on to the next game, which is even more sad. The next game is even more sad. It's the Raleigh Flyers versus the, yet again, Nashville Nightwatch.
Okay. May I say, we do better against Raleigh than we do against Charlotte, which is actually weird.
Never a bad thing. All right, but yet again, I'm going to pick against Nashville and pick the Raleigh Flyers.
All right. I swear when I say this, I'm being 100% serious. I'm picking my upset of the week right here. I'm picking Nashville over Raleigh. That is my
Wait,
pick.
what?
I'm calling Nashville over Raleigh. My upset of the week.
All right. Well, the worst I can do is tie now.
Minutes, that's like. Thank you, James, for handing this one to me.
Yeah, it's all right, man. Gotta have some sort of dream, or else there's no point in life.
Yes. So I'm actually calling Nashville to split this weekend, and like I said, I'm being 100% serious. We've never been blown out by Raleigh. At most, I think we've only lost by like 2. And actually, last year we went to overtime against them.
Yeah.
Team are capable of beating.
All right, so now we move on to the last division, and that is the East Division. So James, hit us with the standings.
Okay, Toronto Rush sitting in first on 10-2, point differential of 87. DC sitting in second, win-loss 9-4, point differential of 54. New York Empire 6-5, sitting in third place with point differential of 37. Montreal sitting in fourth, win-loss record of 5-7, point differential negative 30. Ottawa sitting in fifth, win-loss record of 4-6, point differential of negative 28. Philadelphia Phoenix 0-10, point differential of -120.
All right, so actually, this year has been a little bit more spread out than it was last year. A lot more teams are in the mix, and this one is going to get interesting. All right, so our first game that we have is the mighty DC Breeze against the Philadelphia Phoenix. Man, why are these all these top against the bottom games happening? I don't know. Feels like they're kind of getting beat up on. Oh well, it's week 13. Philadelphia's eliminated.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to pick the DC Breeze on this one, James.
I'm picking DC as well. Philly, they didn't have Rochester to beat up on this season.
Mm-hmm.
So, they had to try to pull it up against top teams, and they couldn't do it. But whether or not they win is kind of irrelevant now, unless they can play spoiler to teams like New York and Montreal and maybe DC. But
Yeah.
I'm picking DC in this one.
Yeah. All right, so the next game we have is the New York Empire versus the Ottawa Outlaws. This is a pretty interesting matchup, and both of these teams have been doing relatively well. And surprisingly, at 4-6, the Ottawa Outlaws are not eliminated from the playoffs. They still have a chance.
Yeah.
And New York's the team in third. So
Yes.
I believe they're around 2 games different, and with a few more games to go in the season, definitely can turn it around. I am thinking more about the fact that Ottawa has a double series this week. They play Philadelphia the next day, but I think that's going to play a little bit of a factor, but New York has a very solid defense, so I'm going to pick New York.
Yeah. They may not be the number one defense in the East this year, but, I mean, you can't take away from DC was able to do. They almost actually beat DC last week, and I'm a little upset about that game. I had very mixed feelings. It was either last week or the week before last. The last call of that game kind of ticked me off, but you know what? Let bygones be bygones here. I'm picking New York over Ottawa. The Dross brothers, plus they have a new player that they signed. Is it Vodach or something? I can't really remember his name.
They definitely got a new player, though. I know that.
Yeah.
All right. So then our last game. Sorry, I think that sickness is coming back. Please no. All right, so the last game we have is the Ottawa Outlaws versus the Philadelphia Phoenix. And I think it would be a pretty solid bet to go on Ottawa here.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's also on the end of their second game. So it's kind of like a fresh slate, except they're both exhausted. So I'm definitely going to pick Ottawa on this one.
Yeah, I got to pick Ottawa on this one too. Philadelphia, I mean, first off, they have the worst point differential in the league. There's not much to go on right there. And they don't have the worst record in the league. Cincinnati's. So I'm trying to figure out. Technically, Cincinnati's been doing better than Philadelphia this season. Technically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they definitely did last season, too.
True. But I got to pick Ottawa over this. I'm sorry, Philly. Are any good teams coming from Philly? I know I just threw a very hard blow there for any Philly sports fans, but
we were saying that about Cleveland a few years ago, so let bygones be bygones.
True. Very true. Yeah. I'm still picking Ottawa though.
All right, so one interesting choice by James in this video, but we did have 2 different picks, so
win, lose, or tie.
Yeah. So, since I forgot to wear the L this week, I'm going to make it a mime, and I'm going to stick it in here, and I'm just going to move my head around it and pretend to be a mime.
Ben.
All right, there we go. It's back on my face. All right, so that is the end of our episode. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this weekend's games are great, and we have some more crazy scenarios to share with you guys next week. So that'll be it from us. Signing off. Good night.